you absolute bellend, try and get more support into Wilson Isidore. Alright everybody, and welcome back to another match preview on the channel. This one is for Saturday's game at the Stadium of Light at Sunderland versus Bournemouth. Now in this one we're going to be talking about a little bit of squad rotation for the Bournemouth game, them 2 yellow cards, as well as the change in formation, especially at the Sol. But before we get on with the rest of the video, I think it's a massive favour, smash the thumbs up and subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. And as always, these videos are brought to you by Tyne & Wear Garage Doors. They will be delivered and fitted within 5 working days. Now then, the shirt giveaway, I'm not taking any more entries because there's been about a million of you that's got it right. So on the match day vlog, so it'll be something different. We've never done this before. We're going to be picking a winner out of a hat on there for the retro yellow 1993 shirt, I think it is. We're going to be giving that away on the day. Now then, the game against Fulham, me and Stephen done the live stream. And when I was watching the game, I kept saying Fulham are knocking on the door. Them were creating the chances. They looked like they were up for this one with a hell of a lot more urgency than what we had. Could put that down to the international break and the fact that a few of our players had a lot of minutes in the legs and they looked tired. Well, for me personally, when I was watching it, they did look tired. Professional footballers, they shouldn't really be that tired, but it did look creating chance after chance. Wilson had an early one. Oh, he was a threat. He had a really good international break with Wales. He scored a hat-trick and he brought that form into this game. And I just thought to myself, they're knocking on the door. You can only see one team scoring a goal. Throughout that game, we lacked so much creativity in the final third. It was a joke. Just put the ball in the box. Numerous times I was screaming, just whip it in, and nothing really got put in. Wilson Isidore, I felt sorry for, and I have done the past couple of games simply because he's starved of any service. Get somebody up there with him. Can you remember Wilson Isidore and Mienda running riot up front together? I know we didn't really go with 2 up top anymore, but early on when we were playing 4-3-3, which I think we've got to play on Saturday against Bournemouth. Now, I'm going to make a few changes to my starting lineup, but that'll be later on in the video. But getting back to the Fulham game, they were creating chance after chance. One flashing just wide by Wilson, and then obviously Kevin, who was a massive threat all game. He's a really good player, he is. But Hume, he had a game to forget in my opinion. He really did. He was constantly getting beat, and the goal came from his side where he didn't stop the cross. The ball was whipped in early, and Roofs, he came and then he went back, but I didn't think even if he stopped on his line, he really was going to save that one because it just went straight through to Jimenez, who put it in. And, you know, I was disappointed in the game over the full 90, the way we were playing and performing. We all know what we're capable of. We've seen it before on many occasions, even Chelsea game. But Chelsea game was a little different in that sense where we're, you know, the midfield had more of a say in that game. I thought Granit Xhaka against Chelsea was absolutely phenomenal. In this game, he wasn't at his best. Same with Siddiqui. And if them two were not at his best, we just didn't tick. And obviously, you've got to look at your more attacking players in the final third. They just weren't creating anything on either flank. I thought, credit to Traore, he was trying to make things happen. The only one who I thought where there was a little spark, I'd only put that down to about maybe the first half. Second half, he went a little bit quiet. But that's where our threat was, in my opinion. It was Traore. But Fulham just kept knocking and kept knocking. They were creating chance after chance, and I just thought, it's only one team going to score here. But Lafay did have a chance in the second half. Flashed it just wide, and I thought, right, that can be the catalyst for us to now crack on and look for this first goal. But it just weren't coming. And very late on, when Talby came on the pitch, I was screaming, absolutely screaming at the telly. Square the ball, square the ball. I couldn't remember if it was, I think it was Lafay. He was in acres of space inside the box on the left as well. So if he picks up that ball, you just know he was going to curl it round into the corner. But he didn't. He turns the opposite way into trouble and nothing came of it. And I just thought, that's our luck. That really is our luck. We had 1 or 2 chances throughout the game. But if you look at the stats tell the story. Fulham had all the chances. We only had a few. And you've got to put that down to the formation and certain tactics throughout that game. Yes, the back 5 has worked really well, But when you're coming up against teams like Fulham, you want to be creating more chances than what we did. So again with a back four, because when you play a low block or a back five, you're just inviting them on and inviting them on, and that's just the way it went. But in the live stream, I was saying we're going to have to make a change around about 60 minutes. He's changed it at 64 minutes, and he brought on Talbot for Traore, and I thought, I wouldn't have really took Traore off because I thought that he was one of our bright sparks in that game. Although, it was a bright spark in a poor performance Sunderland team. The way we were playing, we just weren't at it. We weren't defending quite well, we really were. But the creativity, what I keep talking about in the final third, was not there. And that brings us to the like for like, what he went with when he took off Wilson Isidore and brought on Brobby. Now, we all see what Brobby can do when he comes off the bench against Arsenal. Springs straight to mind for obvious reasons. But he was starved of service throughout that game as well. Yes, he's better at holding the ball up. But my God, the service was just non-existent. But my God, what was that referee? It was like Fulham had 12 men. Listen, he wasn't the worst ref I've seen, but he was so inconsistent. The foul on Wilson Isidore Bassi was a free kick in a million months of sun as any other ref would have given it. Why he didn't give it, it was beyond me. 10, 15 minutes later, an identical foul from a Sunderland player on a Fulham player. Push. He blew it up straight away, and I thought, you absolute bellend. He was the terrible, terrible referee. I'm not taking out away from Fulham. Fulham fully deserved that win. I didn't even think we deserved the draw. If we got a draw out of that late on, it would have been a smash and grab. Now then, let's talk about the Cherries. Bournemouth. They've had a really good start of the season, just like Sunderland. Now, they are better at home, just like us, than the away form sees them down in 14th in the last 5 games, but the home form sees them 4th. We've all seen what they're capable of this season. They've hit the ground running, and that's down to ex-Sunderland player Semenyo. Now, when he played for us in League One, he made 7 appearances. He didn't get a goal or an assist, and he didn't really shine or nothing. And that's a message to any young aspiring footballer. Just take a look at Semenyo, even Eze, who we had on loan as well, and we didn't offer him a contract. He had a poor spell. We looked at him, he was a trialist, and they just didn't perform. But fast forward a few years later, Eze has got his move to Arsenal, and now Semenyo is worth 16 million. It looks like Liverpool is sniffing around him. Now, I just hope he's still out injured for the game on Saturday, because he has been their main threat. He's been getting their goals. He's got 6 goals already this season, as well as 3 assists. So, if he is out injured, because he did pick up an ankle knock, it wasn't too serious. They knew about it before he went on international break, but then when he went out on international break, it reoccurred as well. So, fingers crossed he is out injured. Bournemouth are currently in 8th place, just behind us. Now, they've scored 19 goals, which we've only scored 14, but they've conceded 20, so the D-League goals at the back, and we've only conceded 11. We're both on 19 points. Now, in the last 5 games, they drew with West Ham. They got battered 4-0 away to Aston Villa. They got beat off Man City 3-1. They did pull off a really good performance and beat Forest 2-0, and they also drew 3-3 at Crystal Palace. Now, in the last game against West Ham, they showed a lot of fight, team spirit, and a lot of character to come from 2-0 down. West Ham scored 2 early goals, and they came back and scored 2 themselves. Now, that was down to West Ham playing a very, very low block and just inviting them on as well, and they were just picking them off. But they deserved the draw in the end, and they probably should have went on to win that game. Now, a few of the players we're going to have to keep an eye out for Bournemouth. That's Marcus Tavernier. He's on 3 goals and 3 assists up to now, as well as Marcus Asensing. He's got 3 assists from centre-back, and he got man of the match in the last game, so we're going to have to keep an eye on him. He's a really good threat for them. And one other person I'd like to mention, he did have a bad game in the last one, and that is Petrovic. Can you remember when we were linked with him and it looked like we were going to get him from Chelsea, and then Bournemouth swooped him and got him? He is their goalkeeper on Saturday. But like I was saying, this is a really good opportunity for Sunderland to get 3 points at the stadium. We've got to change things up for me. We've kind of gone 5 at the back playing Bournemouth at the Sol, especially. since they have lost their key player. We should be looking at getting all 3 points. But Bournemouth are no mugs. They're a well-established Premier League team, and they've done well this season. So just because their key man could be out, you never know by the time this video is done and up, they might have announced that he will be playing. But as of now, he is out. We can't attack them lightly. No way. So for Bournemouth, I think we should go back to a 4-3-3. And this is my lineup. Roofs in goal. Then I will surprise a lot. I'm going to put Nordy in at right back. But all know he was bought as a right back, but he can play back. And for Leverkusen, he did play the majority of his games at centre back. I think it was last 15. But he said himself he's a right back. So for me, he comes in at right back. Ballard and then Alderweireld. Yes, I would bring him back into the squad 100% with them two as me centre back partners. And left back, Ronaldo Mandava, 100%. Then I would have Xhaka, Siddiqui and Lafi and Talbi on the left, Traore on the right, and I would stick with Wilson Isidore up top from the start. And later on, probably bring on to get our tired legs. But that's me lineup. But for me, the game against Fulham, he got caught out far too many times. And all of our problems were coming from that side. So if we are going to go into a back four, then I would like Nordy to come in. But listen, if we're going to a back four, I'm not too fussed about Hume starting as well. I'm not digging Hume out. I know it's tactics and instructions he's been given, but I much preferred Hume bombing down the wing as an out-and-out right back, gone on the overlap, few links up with the wingers, but we didn't say that much, and we haven't seen it in the past couple of games, and we need more balls from Hume into the box early doors as well, and that's the key, regardless of the formation. When they get the opportunity, either be early, just whip the ball into the box and try and get more support into Wilson Isidore, because that's where we struggled. We lacked so much creativity in the final third against Fulham. When things need to change, a few things need to change. And as for the yellow cards, me personally, gone into the Liverpool game, try and make a tactical foul, miss the City game, boom, come in for the Newcastle game, because it looked like the both of them were playing with a leash on. You know what I mean? Like they looked like they were fully aware that one more card and they're getting a ban. So for me, just get rid of it, get it out of your system, get it away on the Liverpool game. And then once that's done, you know, there's a little bit of weight off. But that's what I would do. Let us know in the comment section what yours would do. What's your score predictions as well? And who would you start up front? And what would your lineup be? Let us know everything, and let's get talking in the comments below. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. See you in a bit if you want.